welcome back to Robot Reviews. We have got the brand new Titleist line. We're going to start with the T-100 2023/24 version.
Yeah, well, the good news is on all these, they didn't mess them up.
No, well, that
they
is
were
very
really
important.
good clubs to begin with, so that's a big bonus.
Yeah. So let's touch on the look of this thing. I feel like it's a little more simple this year.
It looks cleaner, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, just see the T-200 in the back and the Titleist, and that's it. I mean, there's no fancy colors or anything. It's just clean looking.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's like an old callback. Actually, we've got an interview coming out, which you'll see on our channel with Titleist. But they did make that reference to just going back to like the MB right now. It's just got Titleist stamped in the back, and they wanted to kind of run that through the line. I love it. I love simple looking clubs.
Right.
And the 100 is, out of this line, the most simple. The least cavity back,
right.
least going on with the sole. Very basic, but a big seller for us and an all rounder.
Yep, and don't quote me on this too, but they was mentioned in this the #1 iron on tour as far as a cavity back iron.
Yeah, they did say something along those lines.
That's pretty interesting, and I get that too, because it is really designed for that. It's a tour player's a little bit more forgiving club, and that's what it is, and it does really well. Obviously, it did really well with last year's version. We've taken a look on the numbers here.
So let's go. So this got the both tests, the players test, 80 mile an hour. The spreads are good. As we'd expect for T100, and this is part of their Ds, right? The dispersion was one of their key Ds that they were looking for, and the T100 is the one that when it's on tour, you would hope that it's getting the best on this call out, and it really is. This 1/4 inch test, which is where the players are mostly hitting it, fantastic. Not too much top to bottom drop off, not much left to right drop off. And even the low heel there is still good, which is great.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot to hit it. Just for reference purposes, I made myself a little cheat sheet. I ran up the numbers from last year's versus this year's. Not much changed. Loft still 34 degrees. I didn't do anything with that. The distance carry that we got at 80 miles an hour is 151, exactly the same.
Okay.
So no change there. They raised the launch by about a half a degree, which is a good thing, obviously, and they lowered the spin by a couple of RPMs. So a little bit easier to control and go straight and all that stuff. And our overall ratings on this, the overall rating, which is really more handicap, higher handicaps, further off center and all that stuff, actually went up a tick. It went from 4.2 to 4.3, so it's slightly better.
Okay.
And the tour rating is 4.6, as high as it gets. I don't think we have anything higher than that.
Yeah.
So the change they did make, they lowered the spin a little bit, and it was one of the most spinning irons that we've had out there, so that makes some sense. Even tour players probably can have too much spin, so and just a couple of 20 RPMs or something, so it's not a lot.
It was 290 something in the last model, right?
Yeah, it was 289 before, and it's 272 now. So it lowered it 15, 16 RPMs per degree, so 150 RPMs. Not a lot, but it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So nothing they did that made it any worse, and everything they did made it a slight bit better.
And I think visually, I love it. Yeah, yeah, a little more. And the sole, they talked a lot about this being tour-driven evidence, and the sole getting through the ground a bit quicker, getting that feel up. It's it's a winner. So handicap range for this kind of thing.
This is really single-digit handicap. I mean, unless a higher handicap, good play that if a young kid or something's getting better. Yep. But I'd stick this with single digit. There's so many other good clubs out there, and then you start getting into the 200s, 300s, even this line.
Well, that's,
you get above that.
That's
so
something we'll touch on.
I'd say 5 and under probably is a fair call.
Yeah, and it's blendable. Right?
Yeah.
So definitely in the bottom half.
One of the stories of this thing is you can blend it, and hey, I'm a 7 or 8 or whatever, but well, let's not go there. But I'll probably play these in the shorter clubs.
Yeah,
and there's nothing wrong with them.
Right? I love them. They're awesome. Thanks, man.
Yep. Thanks.